Mario Kart World!
Really, Kevin? You didn't want to do another take of that? Let me give it a shot. Mario Kart World! Woohoo! Hey everybody, Benjamin here. Mario Kart World is the 9th entry in the mainline Mario Kart series. No, Tour and Live Home Circuit don't count after all. This is the first mainline entry in the series since Mario Kart 8 released back on the Wii U, meaning it's been 11 years since the last entry in the series. With Mario Kart 8 Deluxe releasing in 2017, along with a Booster Course Pass in 2022 and 2023, does Mario Kart World shake up the formula in meaningful ways to help it stand out? Yes! And this is both to the game's benefit and detriment. And honestly, it made it one of the most polarizing video games I have ever played. Don't understand what I'm saying just yet? Let me explain. Before we get into the gameplay of Mario Kart World, let's first take a look at the new character roster. Right off the bat, you can tell that the art style in this game is much more cartoonish and playful compared to the realistic, slick look of Mario Kart 8. And honestly, I greatly prefer the characters' looks in this game. They express so much more personality in faces and movements, making this feel much more inviting than Mario Kart 8 was. The many different costumes in the game add to this expressive nature even more. And along with the classic Mario cast we've all come to know and love, this game also includes a wide range of NPC characters from past Mario games that have never been playable, even including characters that don't have the essential limbs for driving, such as the Goomba or the Piranha Plant. While they may look a little silly initially, it starts to fit in even more with the cartoony vibes of this game. Characters like Cataquack and Conkdor are just a couple of personal highlights. I also like how we now have a select number of pre-built vehicles to choose from rather than customizing our karts, as when playing in multiplayer back in Mario Kart 8, it would take forever for everyone to choose their karts just due to all the kart part options there were. However, this brings up one of the most bizarre design choices Nintendo might have ever implemented in a game: the unlock system for these NPC characters and the character skins. First, there are the 7 characters you can unlock by completing each of the Grand Prix in this game. These get you the remaining Mario Kart mainstays, including Donkey Kong, Daisy, Rosalina, Lakitu, Birdo, King Boo, and Bowser Jr. These are simple enough to unlock, but next are the skins for the main Mario cast. As you're driving around the map, you'll come across the Yoshi drive-thrus that have food bags, and when you grab one of these and eat them, not only do you get a speed boost, but your character often gets a new costume. Sounds cool until you realize that the different foods unlock different costumes. And because the foods served at each location vary based on the environment, you'll have to go on a cross-country road trip to unlock all the costumes. With the way this mechanic has been implemented, it feels like a half-baked idea that should have had more development time. But that's not even the worst unlock system. That has to do with the aforementioned NPC characters you can unlock. 11 of them are ultimately locked behind the new Kamek item. This item transforms your character into a random NPC while also adding track obstacles for a brief period of time. This means that you don't want to be the one using this item, but rather the one transformed by Kamek to unlock these characters. This is super ridiculous, as this is the only item in Mario Kart history where you actually want to get hit by the item rather than be the one activating it. What's worse is that the characters you unlock through Kamek is determined by a mix of sheer luck as well as your location on the map once again. Some characters, like Fishbone and Peepa, only appear on one track in the entire map, so it's possible to play 50 plus hours of Mario Kart World like I did and still not have all the characters unlocked. Unfortunately, Nintendo must have heard our cries because in the 1.3.0 update in September, they added more UFOs in free roam. So when you are abducted by one and start controlling it, you can capture one of the NPCs and be transformed into them, unlocking the character. Why this wasn't built into the game from day one is beyond me, but we'll have to come back to that issue later. For now, let's get to the track selection and core gameplay, as this is where Mario Kart World stands out from all the previous entries in the series. As I alluded to in the last section, rather than selecting from a vast array of disconnected tracks, all of the races are placed on one interconnected map. While playing a Grand Prix, the first race plays out like any other track in the previous games, where you race 3 laps around a circuit. However, for the latter 3 races, you have to travel across the map to get to the next location. And once you get there, you only play 1 lap on that new track. These roadways between tracks are what I call intermissions, and they help show off the Switch 2's power in how smooth all the transitions are from track to track. It's super fun to see the build-ups for some of these tracks as well, especially for Wario Stadium, Bowser's Castle, and Toad's Factory, among others. The other major change is there are now 24 racers instead of the standard 12 from Mario Kart 8. This also shows off the Switch 2's power in showing how many players the system can handle racing all at once. To add to the more cartoony nature of Mario Kart World that we've been talking about, the feel of racing has changed as well. Drifting, for example, feels a little looser compared to the tightness of Mario Kart 8. While that sounds bad, this actually gives you a little more freedom of movement on the karts and bikes themselves, making them a little bouncier and more expressive compared to the previous entries. It almost feels like Mario Kart Double Dash in that way. This is taken even further with the new rail grinding and wall jumping mechanics, which allows for the most technical movement in the series to date. All these changes lead to lots of creativity with how you can maneuver on the tracks, helping you traverse tracks like you never could before. However, there's an issue with every single one of these new additions. First, a lot of these intermissions, so to speak, are mostly straight lines with only a few minor turns here and there. This didn't bother me much in the first couple weeks of playing the game, but as time has passed, they've started to blend together so much that I and many others have wondered what the point of these intermissions really are. This bleeds into the second issue. The new racing mechanics aren't utilized super well during these intermissions. Because most of these are fairly straight lines, the most you'll get to mess around with are the power lines or other grind rails that barely save you any time, if at all. When playing standard versus matches, I think it's best to stick with the standard 3-lap structure. But that's where the third issue comes into play. In a 3-lap structure, 24 racers might be a little too chaotic to handle. Not just on 3-lap tracks, but even on intermissions, it can be really easy to get Mario Karted. That being said, this is something I don't see being as much of an issue, just because that's how things should play out in Mario Kart, right? This leads me to Mario Kart World's brand new premier racing mode, Knockout Tour. These are 6 interconnected tracks, all completed in one long race, and it's more about survival than winning. At every checkpoint, 4 racers get eliminated until the racers are cut down from 24 to 4 on the final lap around a lap-based track. This creates many more exhilarating matches, as you can never know when you're truly in the clear. This mode also helps show off the true chaos of the item play in this game. Because there are so many racers and many more items being thrown around as a result, the way your kart can crash out is much more numerous. For example, getting hit by a green shell can cause your car to flip over no matter what, but depending on how you've been hit, you can recover faster. Say, for example, if you're hit while you're on the ground, you'll crash out like normal. But if you're hit while airborne, you might be able to flip through the air long enough to land on the ground and retain your speed, even doing a trick while you're at it. In addition to this, some items that used to obliterate you, like the bullet bill, now only tilt your vehicle a little bit, causing you to lose control briefly. Other items are the most punishing they've ever been, with the blue shell in particular completely killing your momentum for an extended period of time no matter how you get hit. It's basically on the same level of aggressiveness as Mario Kart Wii, if not more so. As it sounds like right now, Knockout Tour is probably by far the premier mode of this game and is what helps it stand out from any other Mario Kart game in the series. The only problem that I have with Knockout Tour is there are only 8 rallies to choose from. There's no option to choose your own Knockout Tour in Versus mode, which means a lot of the unique intermissions go to waste since this mode is where they can truly shine. At the very least, Nintendo needs to either add more Knockout Tours or allow us to choose our own rallies in Versus mode.
But what if you didn't want to play any of the main racing modes?
Well, there's time trials in battle mode, like previous games, but we'll come back to those later. Instead, I want to bring our attention to the other new mode in Mario Kart World. The last major mode in Mario Kart World is Free Roam, where you get to drive around the open world at your own leisure. If you've ever wondered what it's like to drive beyond the boundaries of previous Mario Kart tracks, those dreams are now fulfilled. To keep Free Roam engaging, you can find certain collectibles like question mark panels and Peach medallions, while also finding P-switches, which activate missions on the map. These can range from collecting 8 blue coins, to passing all the gates, to even playing homages to Super Mario Kart tracks scattered throughout the map, just like this one here where I'm playing Vanilla Lake 1. This is fun to do for the first few hours when there are an infinite number of collectibles to find. But once you find about half of them, there's less and less of a reason to come back. In addition to this, before the 1.3.0 update, you were only able to track how many question mark panels you collected on each track. While the counter for the other 2 collectibles did exist, there was no marking on the map for each P-switch mission you completed or which Peach medallions you found. This is the biggest reason why I still haven't found all the collectibles in Free Roam yet. And when the only reward you get for completing these missions and finding all these panels and Peach medallions are stickers that are barely visible on your cart, there's really no point in finding them all, even after the update. More than that, this open world feels like it was made for so much more than what it amounted to. Before Mario Kart World came out, there was a lot of speculation that because the game had an open world emphasis, there would be some kind of new story mode. In fact, it was one of the most requested modes to appear in this game before we even knew it existed. So, when that Mario Kart World Direct came around that Nintendo hyped up so much, there was a collective sigh of disappointment when Free Roam was just a mission mode with a lot of extra filler and not enough variety in the challenges themselves. There isn't even a sense of progression when you complete a certain number of missions, such as a boss fight appearing on the map to unlock additional characters. Probably the biggest aspect of Mario Kart World that had a complete waste of potential. Fortunately, while roaming around this map, you will get to listen to what is likely the best part of the whole game, the soundtrack. Along with the new title theme and new music for the 16 Nitro tracks, Mario Kart World includes over 200 songs from past Mario Kart games as well as the mainline Mario series, and completely remasters them with live recorded instrumentation. Some of these remasters stay faithful to the original versions of their songs, like Coconut Mall, Vancouver Velocity, and Dolphin Shoals. While many others tap into completely unique genres that create unique vibes you'd never expect to hear in Mario Kart, such as SNES Rainbow Road, Maple Treeway, and even Baby Park. Some of these songs even have multiple arrangements within the game. Due to the day and night cycle in Mario Kart World, the songs will play to try to match the time of day that the game is portraying. Take the music for Waluigi Pinball as an example. During the day, or during a race, the classic Waluigi Pinball music you come to know and love will now play with a full live jazz rendition. It's perfect for the chaos of kart racing. But if you're in free roam and are strolling through Crown City at night, you will likely hear a slower, more laid-back version of Waluigi Pinball. It still retains the same instruments, but the tempo is slowed down dramatically. This isn't even mentioning the music from the brand new tracks in the game. From the bombastic roars of Peach Stadium to the jazzy funk of Crown City, to the haunted vibes of Boo Cinema, and even to the absolute cinema that is this game's Rainbow Road. There is no shortage of creativity in how the music plays throughout. Everything about this game's soundtrack is amazing. It's honestly one of Nintendo's best. So what could possibly go wrong with it? Well, simply put, you can't choose which songs to listen to at any given point in time. The game always plays the music on random based on the in-game day and night cycle like I mentioned, with no ability to select a song you want to listen to. This wouldn't be that big of a deal if Nintendo would just add a Mario Kart World soundtrack to the Nintendo Music app! I swear, we're 5 months in at this point, and still can't listen to this music by official means. Instead, we have to stick with the ripped music files that are uploaded to YouTube, which admittedly isn't perfect, but it's better than nothing, I guess. But still super enraging.
That was an overreaction.
But wait! There's more!
This leads to the underlying issue of Mario Kart World. Not just a lack of overall content, but a lack of options and customization compared to previous entries in the series. First of all, there are only 30 tracks in this game, 16 nitros and 14 retros. Sure, some of these have multiple variants, like Crown City and Shy Guy Bazaar, but the problem is, you can't play these different variants on their own without having to enter the tracks from certain points on the map. For Shy Guy Bazaar's secret second version in the game, you can't play a 3-lap race on that track. You would have to enter it via the intermissions from Wario Stadium or Airship Fortress, limiting the actual track to only 1 lap. On that note, there is no easy way to play 3-lap tracks outside of versus mode and time trials. You can't even choose 3-lap tracks online without having to join a private room that focuses on them exclusively. This makes the normal race mode in online play so annoying to play because you are forced to play tracks with intermissions a majority of the time. This would be such an easy issue to fix if Nintendo would just add a classic mode where you'd always get a 3-lap race. But no, we have to play the game Nintendo wants us to. Who in their right mind would ever want to play 3-lap tracks? That's old news. Straight line intermissions are the way to go. Honestly, the only mode that's worthwhile in online play is Knockout Tour. But like I said before, there are only 8 rallies to choose from. So playing the same ones over and over and over again can get super old really fast. Then there is the nightmare that is Mario Kart World Battle Mode.
You? Me?
You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby... Oh my goodness!
Let's do a quick comparison to Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 had 5 different modes and 8 completely original battle arenas built for the mode itself. But in Mario Kart World, Battle Mode only has Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, which is a far cry from the 5 modes in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And the arenas themselves are not built like traditional maps, but rather are based on existing tracks in Mario Kart World. Did Nintendo just forget the last time they pulled this stunt? The only actual battle map here is N64's Big Donut, which was never one of my favorites from the series. Even worse, for 24 racers, you'd think there would be a bunch of action, but the maps are so massive and poorly designed that most of the time, it's hard to run into somebody and feel like you're actually having a true effect on the game's outcome. And even worse of all, Balloon Battle is forced to have a timer, even though you can be permanently eliminated. You can't even change the time itself. It is locked to 3 minutes. You can't shorten it down to 1 minute or extend it to even 5 minutes. Why can't we turn this on, Nintendo?
No. That's why I got it in the bundle for $50. Yippee! Okay, real talk. Given all that I've said about Mario Kart World, I do still think that this is a very good game on a gameplay level. But in no world is it worth $80. $70 I would have least understood because it's the current generation standard right now, and it's a brand new entry in a series that has been fairly dormant for a few years now. But even then, I still feel like you're pushing it. For an $80 premium price, this game should either have the most refined gameplay in any kart racer ever, or have content out the wazoo. This actually brings to light the biggest reality check for Mario Kart World. It's not the only competitive kart racer on the market anymore. If you want a racing game that harkens back to the classic 3-lap structure with unique racing gimmicks that don't undercut the core gameplay loop, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds does just that. And if you want a racing game that's a little more experimental while also being jam-packed with tons of content and ways to play the game, Kirby Air Riders has you covered. And these two games are $60 and $70 respectively. That means of these 3 options, Mario Kart World is the most expensive, yet it has the least amount of options, content, and focus in gameplay. This is why I believe if you are interested in getting Mario Kart World this holiday season, I strongly recommend that you get it bundled with your Switch 2, just like I did. Otherwise, there's no reason not to give Sonic Racing Cross Worlds or Kirby Air Riders a shot. And I'm saying that, and Kirby Air Riders hasn't even released yet. That just means that Sakurai has shown this game is way more than any of us could have possibly imagined it being. Lastly, and this is one of the more concerning things, as of recording this video, Mario Kart World does not have any new DLC announced on the way like Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which means that it puts the evergreen nature of Mario Kart into question, even though the game has already sold 9.5 million copies. I still believe DLC for Mario Kart World is inevitable, but we still have to wait and see on that. And that's my review of Mario Kart World. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on it. Do you have Mario Kart World yourself and share the same sentiment? Or maybe do you have a little bit more of a positive perspective? Or are you still thinking about getting the game yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to keep up with the latest that's going on this channel. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna jam out and go finish completing the real system seller of the Switch 2. Golly, I wonder what that could be. It's Donkey Kong Bonanza.